You're on Bent TV, in the thick of it with Sammi, and I've burst into the studios while we're filming ready for our brand new series Transmission, and I've decided to wrangle a few of the guests to have a bit of a chat about their organisations and what this upcoming series means to them. And I've got one of my favourite people, Greer. Oh, buddy, darling. Now, you're the president of Seahorse Victoria. Now, Seahorse has been around. Most people don't realise just how long.
Yes, it's 39 years this year, and of course that means next year we're celebrating 40 years of continuous functioning as a transgender group. So we like to brand ourselves as the longest continuous operating group in Australia of its sort, even though other states sort of started before us but went into hibernation for a while.
Yep.
So that's a big achievement, and the amount of social change that's occurred in that time is almost immeasurable. The fact that we can now be open about who we are rather than secretive. It's no longer illegal to dress as the opposite gender like it used to be, and that goes to a lot of the forebears of Seahorse starting up, and out of that a lot of other activities occurred, and sometimes Seahorse is not credited with it, but it's been at the forefront of many of those changes.
Well, I mean, we see that with a lot of advocacy groups, that sometimes the amount of work that they do, goes what we think sometimes relatively unnoticed, but the changes have occurred. Now, you've been with Seahorse for over a decade now,
That's
and
correct.
when we actually say it like that, you were like, wow, that's a long time. But the changes that you personally have seen, I suppose, not only within the way that the group operates, but also within the acceptance in the broader community, with people sort of, I don't know, I suppose as you walk down the street, more keen to look you in the eye and give you a smile.
Well, that's true. It's the significant change to me personally is that, well, Seahorse gave me the springboard to start developing the comfort I have with myself as a person. And then when I made the decision that it was much more than just part-time dressing, that I really needed to identify more openly about myself. The significant change of just being able to go to a pub and feel, that's a big step. And they are important steps, but now I'm actively involved in a broad-based community group, and I'm very well accepted for me as a person and for what I contribute, and not for the way I look. And I think that's one of the benefits a group like Seahorse has been able to do for individuals, and that's what I'm sort of giving back now.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is too that we see with so many of the great trans organisations that we actually have within our community is that diversity within the trans communities, and it's really anybody that identifies under that umbrella is part of the acceptance that you see at Seahorse, whether people are just starting out or further along in their journey, or their journey is only particularly at a certain point where they want to be.
Yes, that's correct. And it's open for everyone. It's all adults, and it's not just about those who are coming out for the first time, but it's important for people like myself who have been out for a while to contribute and give back to help somebody else, because there's always going to be somebody, unfortunately, in the future who will need a group like Seahorse, and it's very important to make sure that it survives in that sense. And little things that Seahorse has done, we accumulated an enormous library over the years, and we've just donated that to the State Library of Victoria, and to catalogue and to place on public use, crediting Seahorse. So we were a resource-based group anyway, but the biggest thing I think now is that we are a people-based group. We're not an internet-based group. While we have a very simple website, it's about people being people and people meeting people and associating with people, and that's what we really want to do. And we use a simple catchphrase, real people, real lives.
And I think that's one of the things that has always rung true with the organisation like Seahorse, particularly is because that contact is always there for somebody to come along to a meeting. It doesn't matter how fresh-faced you are or how nervous you are. There is always a friendly face and a cuppa and someone to pull you aside for a chat or for advice, shopping, all those sorts of things.
That's right, and we do try, and on a regular basis, have guest speakers, whether it's makeup demonstration or whether it's a professional or whether it's a well-known trans person that's done something outside in the community that they've done because they're a talented person and come back to give some of themselves to the newer generation, as it were.
Now, with the big anniversary happening next year, what sort of celebrations are we going to see? Because this is going to be amazing.
Well, we are planning a big dinner dance on the July the 18th in 2015. Details will be published shortly, but we have now just settled on a venue, and it will be in Melbourne. We are looking at planning ancillary events around it, such as drinks on the Friday night, maybe a shopping trip on the Saturday and a winery tour or something like that on the Sunday. So they're still in working out nuts and bolts, and we are looking at trying to make it as big as possible, but at this stage we're planning on a specific number of people to fit the venue, and that way we've got to be a bit cautious, I suppose, because it is a big cost to put ourselves at risk. But we are really planning to ensure that this is it, and we're going to start celebrating that in August with a cocktail party in Chapel Street at the Temperance Hotel. Details will be available very shortly as a way of fundraising, not only just for that, but other things that Seahorse gets involved in, but also as part of introducing the 40th anniversary to the community.
And what's Seahorse's website so people can go and find out more about it?
Seahorsevic.com.au.
Wonderful. Now, just quickly, because I've dragged you in here while we were in the middle of shooting our new series transmission, what does it mean for you, not only as someone that is part of the trans community, but a president of one of the longest running organisations to have Bent TV do something like this?
It's been very important. I know some years ago I did do an interview with you, and that's been very important as a connection from our point of view, being able to say to people, look on the YouTube, you can see what I look like above board, and it's also for the broader community too. So it balances very nicely in that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming in and taking the time to chat with me. Don't forget, coming up very shortly on Bent TV, you can find out all about our wonderful new series, Transmission. You go to benttv.org.au to find out. Keep an eye on it. It's going to be amazing. You've been in the thick of it with Sammi.